Okay, good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Forex Trading Asia daily currency call. So this is the currency call where you will get market economic updates, key support resistance levels, trade ideas, and more. So this webinar is going to be very beneficial to both the long-term investors and short-term traders. Here we will be going through what could move prices, possible trade ideas, and also highlighting potential targets and risks. So a disclaimer here, any information shared during this session is not intended to be a trade recommendation. It is solely the opinion and views of the speaker. So please remember to do your own analysis prior to entering any trades. So let's get the call started. So today's currency in focus is yen and gold. But before we get into the currency call, let's get some idea on the FOMC meeting minutes that was released yesterday. So today we are with Jin Dao, founder of LCMS Traders, a multi-million-dollar trader trading an account with more than $13 million on a daily basis. So yeah, Jin, what do you think of the FOMC meeting minutes?
All right, good morning, everyone. So we just had the FOMC meeting minutes being released. So it was not the meeting, bear in mind, it's not the meeting, it was just the minutes being released. Early this morning at 2 a.m. was not a huge event because it's really, the details of what led to their decision of not doing anything back then when they had the statement and they had the rates decision a couple of weeks ago. So with the meeting minutes, it really gave or should be giving traders that insight into why they were making that decision and possibly even a slight forecast into what could happen into the future. Are they likely to take further actions, or are they likely to remain and hold based on current performance, based on current expectations, what they're likely to do? So just to share with you here, it's quite interesting what happened or what was said at the meeting minutes, or what was being released at the meeting minutes for the FOMC. Main things to pay attention to here is, main things to pay attention to here is that, members were agreeing to maintain the target range at 0 to 0.25%. They're going to keep that on hold. They expect to keep it, to maintain this range until labor market conditions had reached levels consistent with the maximum employment and inflation targets. Okay, we've seen very good employment numbers coming from the US. We've seen unemployment rate hit at 6%. We've seen very good non-farm payrolls over the past couple of months. But what they're trying to do is reach a consistent level. So it's not just about hitting that level one time or over a couple of times. They want to make sure that it's consistent, and also paying attention to the point where inflation would have to be on track to moderately exceed that 2% for some time. So it's not good enough. The FOMC is now looking and saying that it's not good enough to reach a 2% target. They want it to exceed and then also to maintain, so that they can maintain it at that 2% level. Looking at the paragraph before that, you can see that they're looking to aim to achieve inflation moderately above 2% for some time, so that inflation averages 2% over time and longer term inflation expectations remain well anchored at 2%. So with that in mind, looking at that as the evidence for the FOMC's actions, we possibly will see the FOMC maintain that low rate of the low interest rates. We also look at them looking to increase their holdings of treasury securities by 80 billion per month and mortgage-backed securities of at least 40 billion per month until sustainable progress is made. So looks like they're going to maintain the current stance. With that said, you're probably going to see some US dollar strength come around. We haven't seen it being applied because of this meeting minutes, because it's already after the fact. But if they do approach the market more consistently with this kind of tools and with that kind of expectation to hit the inflation targets and the labor economic conditions to improve, then we could see more US dollar strength coming around, not just in the short term, but maybe towards the medium and longer term as well.
Okay, thank you, Jin. Yeah, so thanks for summarizing the meeting minutes into something that we can digest. Yeah, so let's get on to the currency on focus today, the yen and gold. Jin.
Okay, so bearing in mind, I see a question there, what is consistent over 3 periods? For the FOMC right now, consistent is probably a bit of a moving goalpost. I don't think it's over 3 periods. I think the last time they were talking about it, they were saying they were looking at 2023. So looking at quite a long period of time where rates will probably remain lower for longer. So we're looking forward to that. Looking at the news of what could happen, what else could happen over the next couple of days. Today we are on Thursday, so with that focus on the yen pairs and gold. On Thursday we had the FOMC meeting minutes here already. Nothing much else apart from the construction PMI coming from the UK, so that might affect the pound yen. We see it possibly going from 53.3 to 54.6. So still in the expansionary phase, still looking at the possibly a bit of a recovery coming from better recovery coming from the construction industries in the UK. And also later tonight, we're going to see the ECB monetary policy statement. At this point, there is no decision on rates. It's just a monetary policy statement coming from the ECB. Not expecting much of a surprise. Hence, this could translate into some movements on the euro dollar and also the euro yen. I'll show you more as we talk about it on the charts. Some US dollar jobless claims numbers, but this is a weekly number, so not expecting this to affect prices too much. Powell is speaking tonight or early tomorrow morning at midnight tonight here, but it's not a policy meeting. It's not a policy speak. It's on the IMF talking about the futures of the markets. So I don't think this is going to be an introduction of any policies. There is expected to be some questions coming from the audience. So expect possibly some volatility, but I don't think this will be a big price mover. The next thing to pay attention to will be the Canadian employment and unemployment numbers, but that's not something we'll be looking at right now. We're possibly looking at that tomorrow. Translating all this onto the charts, how we look at it, this is the US yen on the H4 time frame. The US yen on the H4 time frame, we are seeing prices for the last, on the H4 time, last 9 candles, last 10 candles, over last 40 hours, sitting in that 109.92 to 109.65 range. Very tight range at this point, possibly looking like a straddle, possibly looking at a breakout either towards the upside or the downside. This is a feature of a straddle strategy where it could break on either directions without the driver of a news. We don't see any big news coming out for the US dollar or for the yen. What I would say is moving this line down, moving the resistance line down towards 109.80. If it breaks up above this point, which could move towards 111.16. So what I'm looking at is a possible, let's say 110. If it gets to 110 flat, going to that resistance level, 40 pip stop loss for a good 100 pip take profit level could be very possible towards the upside. On the other hand, if it does reject this 109.80, if it rejects 109.80, look to sell only below 109.50. Below 109.50, you're looking at about a 45 pip to 50 pip stop loss for a good 100 pip take profit. In this scenario here, you can have both a buy order and a sell order ready to take advantage of any possible moves towards the upside or the downside, with both very good risk reward ratios, almost looking at at least 1:2 risk reward ratios towards the upside or the downside. That's the US yen with both possible moves that way or downwards towards 108.22. But for the euro yen, we looked at this last night on the euro yen with the anticipation that it could break the 130.60 level, right? Anticipation that it could break the 130.60 level. It failed to break that point. It came very close, close below and outside of Bollinger Band, and we saw that big retracement back down towards 130.28. At this point now, I think that we might see a repeat of what has happened 3 weeks ago, back in 18th of March, where it tried to go towards 130.60, failed, and saw that big downward move off the 130.28. So at this point right now, I think we might see the euro yen sit across on the H4 time frame, sit across at this 130.28 level before we could see further downside towards 129.51. So what I would say is we're looking to sell below 130.13, 20 something to 30 pip stop loss for a good 60 pip take profit level. You're looking again towards a 1:2 risk reward ratio for that downside. The question naturally that will come is what happens if the euro yen does bounce up. I would say avoid any upward trade at this point unless it breaks above and significantly, confidently above 130.60 before you could see any further upside. So I'll still be more tempted to trade this down off the 130.28 level. Lucky last on the pound yen, we've seen that big drop since earlier in the week, on the 6th of April to now. It's dropped a good 238 pips already, now sitting at the 150.90 level with a possible bounce back up. This move back up could be possible as we saw what happened last week where it reacted to this level at 150.90. If we do see a good construction PMI coming from the UK, we see some positivity coming for the pound dollar, which looks like it might be happening quite soon. We could see the pound yen move up above this 150.90 level back towards the 152.26. So as a trade possibility, what I'll be looking for is a trade above 151.15. You're looking at a 40 pip stop loss for a good 100 pip take profit level above 1:2 risk reward ratio. At that point, this will be a two-part trade. Look for it to go from 151.15 towards 152.26. And then if it breaks that resistance, you could again see further upside at that point. So that was very quickly the US yen, the euro yen, and the pound yen. US yen with a multiple trade idea, both on upside and downside. Euro yen looking at the downside only, and then the pound yen looking at the possible move up towards resistance of 152.26. With all that possibility, I think that we have a lot of trade ideas that could keep any trader quite busy. Looking at gold lastly, when we last spoke about it, we said that it was possibly going to bounce off this 16.82 support level back towards the 1773. It's done that halfway now. According to that red line, it's gone back up towards the 1738. Now, I think that we'll see as an adjustment, we might not see such a steep climb. I think we'll see a very more gradual climb back up towards 1773. I don't think you'll get all the way there. I think you'll come close before a retracement back down again. So it'll probably stay within this range of 1773 and 1682. So that was very quickly my share on the yen pairs and also on gold. These are reserve currencies and reserve commodities, so it gives you a bit of a foresight into how traders and investors are looking at the market as they move funds towards safety or away from safety.
All right, thank you, Jin. So now I will open the Q&A segment to the webinar attendees. So for the podcast listeners, if you guys want to attend the webinar, look into the description for the link. Okay, so webinar attendees, please put in your questions in the chat if you have any questions. I do have one question of my own to ask, and it is about scalping. So if you want to know more about scalping, do stay tuned. Now let me get Daniel here, coach of LCMS traders, to share a little bit about how LCMS traders help their club members trade better. Daniel.
Funny, when you say about scalping, because that's what exactly we did last night, So, usually we get a lot of, comments from members or non-members itself, saying that, hey, they have no time to trade, so we have no time to trade. I only have like 1 hour or 2 a day, and then, so we can't take a trades. I look at the chart, I don't know what to do. So, in the LCMS Traders Club, last night we just did it, every Wednesday evening, 8 p.m., we had a live trading sessions together with the club members. Now, it was a very great night. I love it last night. We have shown, how all the LCMS Traders Club, week after week, all the members here, how do we do with preparations? You will know what you're doing, especially when we do using the 5 steps analysis. You really don't need to be on the computer for the whole day, but just selecting the time and, just yesterday, 8 to 9, just with 1 hour, we have made very profitable trades just yesterday only with 1 hour. Right. So what we did, in the first 20 to 30 minutes, what we did is we reviewed the market with all the members, all the what's happened in the market with the various charts, looking at the economic news and looking at how to identify which currency pairs and which has trading opportunities. So we have sized down which currency pairs coming towards maybe a few, so you don't have to take a look at so many charts. And then we develop a trading plan and where possible, which price, if it goes past, is a possible sell trade or buy trade idea. Now, as we were looking at the 1 hour time frame and the 15 time frame, we had many trading plans coming up. And when the trading plans activated, we highlighted out, we screened each chart, highlighted out, hey, we took this chart, look at this trade, look at another chart, if there's any possibility, took another trade, risk, should we close it? We were discussing, should we closing one trade to open another trade? It was very fantastic sessions, very interactive. We took the trades together. Jin and the coach all take a trades together with the members. All the members were like all taking the trades together live. We were trading live itself. And what has actually happened? If you take a look here, so I just managed to snapshot some pictures. What we did, this was one of the trade ideas, highlighted was pound yen coming in. We identified a certain level coming out. We took this trade, a sell trade of pound yen, together with the club members. Really very nice with within the 5 steps analysis, looking into a possible scalping trade. Then what happened here? We had it continued, it went down, yet, but we were, some members or some even traders will actually be worried about, should I exit out? Should I not exit out the trade? And that's also another issue ahead. So we actually were discussing live on the trades on why we should be holding on to the trade, not to close early. What's the reasons why we should not do? It's a really interactive. All the members was listening. And while with this trade move, we continue to look at other pairs, if any other opportunities, and we did identify a couple of it, like New Zealand USD, Euro Pound, a couple of trade ideas was moving out as well. Okay, and then what actually happened here. You know, it reached almost to this level at 151.15, I believe. And then we were looking at the pair and hey, you know, the currency, the price, you know, was not really moving any much further down, you know, and we decided to secure the profits. If I'm not wrong, this was about 15 pips of profits. I think 15 pips, if I plus or minus, I need to remember that. But we look at that, there's a reason to exit out, not really moving, secure the profits, you know. And this is just one of the trades that we took together with the members here. Now, looking into that, I do know we asked other members. The members also took the other trade ideas and adding it together. I was looking at their what they did. You know, won't you be surprised? They actually within 1 hour they had about 20 to 25 pips profit. Now, wouldn't you be happy with that? You know, with just 1 hour, the ROI, imagine with 1 pip is $1. You would take a one standard lot, one standard lot, $10, 1 pip, $10. You know, 25 pips of profit will be about $250. For 1 hour, $250, it is a fantastic night to be. So, you know, in the Traders Club members, we always do this on Wednesday night. I really hope, you know, we will show you that it can be done. You don't need to stay at the computer the whole day. Within 1 hour, identify trades together with us in the members club. It will be a great night every night for you. Okay, so I hope I shared some reasoning on what is good about the members club here, and also I hope to see you guys soon in the club.
Yeah. Okay. Then thank you, Daniel. 20 pips in 10 minutes? Yeah. So if you guys want to attend the Traders Club webinars, do click on the link in the chat, the tradersclub.lcms.com.sg, and sign up. Okay, so I do see Sunil with a question, but before I jump into his question, I'll get my question first. Okay, so yeah, Jin, like what Daniel said, I see you guys do a lot of live trading sessions on scalping. So do you actually recommend traders to use scalping as part of their trading strategy?
Well, you know, scalping, again, I will ask you, would you like a short or a long answer? But scalping really is, I believe it's crucial to anyone's trading strategies as a complete approach to the markets. You know, if you were just to look at trades, try to trade only based on one method, say, for example, position or long-term trading, then it really comes down to what kind of capital you have, you know, the risk approach that you're going to have, and also the patience that you have. So having multiple strategies, scalping, intraday, longer term trades, position, swing, it really comes into the approach, a complete approach of the market that you're able to take advantage of not just reactions towards support and resistance levels, but you're also able to take advantage of price movements in between. As prices starts trending, as prices starts moving in a certain direction, you're able to take advantage of that. So I really do think that people should be able to scalp. Unfortunately, most traders who want to scalp end up doing it as a purpose of, or as a result of being greedy, not as a result of having a complete approach to the market or being, you know, taking advantage of reasonable advantage of the price movements. So yes, you should be able to scalp. Yes, you should scalp, but you should be able to do all the other trades well first before you get into scalping, because you don't want to be scalping because of greed. You want to be scalping because you're able to take advantage of the price movements rather than to get emotional with it. So I hope that answers your question there.
Yep, definitely. So I guess from the answer, scalping is kind of like an advanced technique where you need a lot of guidance. So again, yeah, join the Traders Club and get into their webinars and learn how they scalp. Okay, so Sunil asked a question. Yeah, so Jin, is there a continuation idea for pound USD as price bouncing off after yesterday?
Right. So as we, as I was sharing with you just then, with the construction PMI coming from the UK, looking at a possible improvement again, going from 53.3 to 54 point something. We could see some upside towards the pound dollar. So looking, just to quickly share with you on the charts, at this point on the H4 time frame, we've already seen it drop over the past couple of days, 180, almost 190 pips downwards, now bouncing off this 137.27 level. We've seen that happen last week, although not as big a drop, but we've seen it hit that support level before bouncing back up again. At this point, you know, with the PMI numbers coming out, with what we see on the technical charts, I do think that we might see some upside for the pound dollar, but it would have to break above 137.78 before I would consider buying it up, purely because it has dropped that much over the last couple of days.
Okay, thank you, Jane. I hope that answers Sunil your question. Yeah, so again, the links are in the chat, the description. So if you want to get into our, you have to get into our Forex Trading Asia free Forex Signal Telegram channel and subscribe to the LCMS Traders YouTube channel for the daily recordings. And again, I can't emphasize enough, the Traders Club, lcms.com.sg for the Traders Club. And if you're looking for a managed account, do check out forexbriefcase.com. So we have come to the end of the webinar. We will see you guys tomorrow for the Canadian dollar analysis and cryptocurrency. Thank you so much for your time and goodbye.